with another video review. And first off, I want to thank you guys for taking the time to read the little intro that I had before this video explaining why I'm reviewing the Masters of the Universe Classics Sorceress, and why I'm gonna hopefully be continuing to do these reviews. Now this comes from MattyCollector.com. One thing that I find kind of interesting, now a lot of people that follow me on Twitter and Facebook know that I've actually still have gotten these figures, I just haven't reviewed them, as I explained in the intro section. They're starting to put different names down here. It says Grayskull. Now people are saying that they're doing this because that allows them to keep the trademark for that, which seems kind of weird. I mean, I don't know how trademark laws work, but whatever. Flip around here on the back, and it says all the consumer information. Now, one thing that is different is these are different boxes. And that being said, they also, they now tab in like this. And this, I don't know if this is a running change, but here we have the Sorceress, and come on, get out of the box, get out of the box. She's upside down. There's no tissue paper. No tissue paper? Why no tissue paper? I don't know why they don't have that anymore. But one thing that actually does kind of suck is they've eliminated that. I actually really like that because as an adult collector, that really said that this was a very well taken care of figure. And it was protected, at least the case and things of that nature, for the mint and box collectors. So it does kind of bother me that, number one, they're increasing the prices of these because if you remember, last time I did these reviews, they were $20 on Matty Collector. Now they're $22. So they're increasing the cost and they're cutting back on things like the tissue paper, which kind of sucks. But as you can see, really nice packaging. It's pretty much the same. Her wings open, and you can see that there. Really nice kind of Grayskull design throughout here. Sorceress, the heroic guardian of Castle Grayskull. Now, this was a figure that when I first saw, really sold me on getting the new 2012 subscription. It's the Sorceress. And if you like He-Man and Masters of the Universe, this was an essential character. And I was really excited. I really love the way that looks. It looks fantastic. I do have some problems with it, which really kind of ruined the figure for me, but we'll get into that in a little bit. Flip around here on the back, you have the customary little hanging tag right up here. And then, of course, it says Masters of the Universe 30th Anniversary, which is really kind of cool. Prince Adam, Man-at-Arms, Orko, Sorceress, Teela, and He-Man. Coming down here to the bio, it says that her name is Sorceress. Her real name is Teela Na, or Teela Ne, or whatever, I don't know how you say that. Growing up in a small Eternian village, Teela Ne, I'm just going to call it that, helped defend her people from a horde scout ship that had discovered her planet on a magic locating mission. Recognized for her loyalty, courage, and wisdom, the current aging sorceress chose Teela Na to take up her title and defend Castle Grayskull's secrets for the next generation. During her reign as sorceress, Teela Na not only cast the spell to clone the Sword of He, she was also cloned herself by Skeletor, who desired a magic-wielding bride to pass on his legacy. With the help of Man-at-Arms, Teela Na saved the clone child, and it was through her undying love and devotion to this baby girl that Teela Na gave her up to Man-at-Arms, awaiting the day when her daughter would become the new sorceress and guardian of Castle Grayskull's secrets. Now, for those of you that don't know, and I'm going to give you a little bit of spoiler, the daughter is actually Teela. So, Teela? Nah, Teela. You know, same thing. Okay, but, really kind of cool. I really do like the packaging, always have. So, let's get Sorceress open and see how cool she actually is. Alright guys, so here we have the Sorceress opened up and out of her packaging. And starting things off first, now a lot of people recognize this as Zoar. Now Zoar was originally part of the mini comics, I believe. And it was what the Green Goddess, in the original mini comics, guys, the Green Goddess was what was constantly communicating with He-Man. The Sorceress really didn't exist. It wasn't until the Filmation cartoon came along that created the Sorceress. Now what they decided to do, as you can see, comes with this whole, weapon thing on here. What they decided to do was make Zoar kind of prevalent in this. The Sorceress actually could transform into Zoar, which may actually kind of confuse some people. Zoar didn't really exist in the Filmation cartoons. But to keep it kind of alive, that's what they basically decided to do. Make the Sorceress transform into this flying eagle, which was their way of kind of replicating Zoar. As you can see though, I'm just going to call this Zoar. It's an absolutely beautifully sculpted looking bird. I do believe this is the third bird that we've gotten. Originally we got Zoar, and then another one that came with Evil Lyn, I can't remember. But really absolutely gorgeous wing coloring on here. Something that actually, I mean, it really doesn't really translate very well on this. I mean, as you can see, you got the yellow and you got kind of this orangish red color than the blue. This just goes from orange to blue, which, that kind of sucks. But an absolutely gorgeous bird, and you see the wings are articulated. They're very kind of soft rubber, so there is some posability there. And then the legs themselves actually can kind of rotate. And she does come with a stand, so you can get the claws hooked on there, and there you have her little eagle. And then, like I said, you come with this kind of weapons pack, which the original vintage toy actually came with, so that's really nice to actually include. Now, the Sorceress herself is actually a really nice looking figure. Very, very cool looking. You see that she comes with this staff, which I'm going to take that off and I'm going to set her off to the back, and I'm going to show you the staff here. Actually really cool, very kind of pearlescent look. I don't know how well that's going to come across because obviously you got the white color and then the white background, and people will kind of complain, but really kind of cool looking. Zooming in, you can definitely see some really nice detail, especially in the whole wing area. Absolutely gorgeous. Now, one kind of minor problem, and I don't know, well, there it is. It's a little bit bent, and it's focusing on the Sorceress back there. So just zoom back. You can kind of see that mine is a little bit bent, and that's kind of unfortunate, but a very long staff like this is probably going to get bent, and I could probably fix that, but really nice looking staff. Now, as for the Sorceress herself, this is actually, like I said, a very nice looking figure. I really do love it. The sculpt on it is wonderful. The face very much does kind of remind me of like She-Ra or something, so I don't know if they actually reused that, but gorgeous eyes. I mean, the face on this is absolutely gorgeous, as with a lot of the Masters of the Universe female characters. Absolutely gorgeous looking. But that does have a very similar look to it, and I'm not 100% sure, but I do believe it's just a reused face, or reused head, with this new headdress that's on it. The headdress itself is actually really nice. The biggest problem with it is, while it is a little bit softer, it's not that soft. And when you turn her head, she automatically is now looking down because you can't really get her head looking up. And like I said, this is a very kind of soft. Does her head pop off? Well, yeah, with all the Masters figures, the head pops off. So, and then the peg is actually a pretty firm peg. I remember that being a problem with a lot of these figures previously. And then just pop that right back on there. So that's definitely something that, in terms of her articulation, really does kind of suffer from the extra bit that they put on this head. And that's really kind of unfortunate because, I mean, in general, that's really good looking. I absolutely love the amount of detail that they put here on the actual skirt area. I mean, these are very nice. I mean, I don't know. Hopefully that's coming across. I zoomed in as much as I possibly could, but you can actually see texturing of feathers on here. It's not just, you know, these little bits sticking out. They actually look like feathers, which is really absolutely amazing to me. I mean, there's kind of, you can kind of pick up some splotches here on her leg, so that looks like she's kind of bruised there. That's kind of ugly. Not as uniform on this one. This one is kind of ugly, so there are some kind of paint defects on here. But that's just absolutely incredible and stunning looking. Now, I'm going to skip her arms for right now because I want to get to that last. She does have waist articulation, so she rotates here. She doesn't have ab articulation. They actually removed that, but she does rotate here at the waist, which is really kind of nice. Moves in and out at the hip, forward and back. This is actually a soft rubber, so you can get a full range of motion with that, which is really kind of cool. She doesn't rotate up at the upper part. I'm trying to see if there's that joint there, and there isn't. So she doesn't rotate up here, but she bends at the knee, and then she rotates also at the upper part of the boot, back and forth here at the ankle, and a little bit of pivot here, back and forth as well. Now, speaking about her arms, now, because of the gimmick here, and I'm going to show you, her arms, when you go like this, she brings out her wings, which that's actually really kind of cool. I like that. I really actually do. But there's a problem. You flip it around here on the back, and these big, giant nubs are attached. Now, you lower it, and it goes back down. You can totally see these, and this is absolutely ugly, if you ask me, and it really absolutely destroys the look for this character. Very, very unfortunate. One thing I actually noticed, there's the texturing of the feathers here on the back as well. That's kind of cool. These bits here, they're all separate pieces, except for this one here. This is actually glued into place, but this is just absolutely ugly. I cannot stand that. And because of that, if her arms are right here, you can't lift her arms. They absolutely will not rotate up here. You have to bring these out away, and you have to lift this entire thing. So in order to lift her arm up here, these wings have to go as well. So if you just had them down like this, you can't lift her arms up. They have to be out in order to be able to rotate, and that's really terrible. Now she also rotates here at the upper part of the bicep, she bends at the elbow, and she rotates here at the wrist, which is wonderful. I mean, that's kind of the standard articulation on these Masters of the Universe figures, but that's just absolutely terrible. And these are all hard plastic, and here's a problem that I have. You know, while this looks really kind of nice, were they not able to figure this out? I mean, here's my one of my Silverhawk figures. I mean, and now granted, I'm not asking that they have, you know, the gimmick where the wings pop out, but as you can see, this little cape thing on here just tabs in. I mean, this is kind of a cloth. It pegs into the back, and it rotates down. So, I mean, you could totally create the same exact look with this, but you wouldn't have, you know, terrible articulation. I mean, you can still form or fold the arm forward like this up here at the shoulder. What? They weren't able to do that with this? I mean, I really cannot excuse that, and that's something that, in my opinion, while it looks cool on this figure, it obviously is a complete failure in terms of execution. Now, don't get me wrong, I really like the way that this figure looks, and for the most part, a lot of people are probably going to display her with her arms like this, but you can't even go all that far. I mean, if you go that high, you see what happens. You kind of have to keep them down, but I know a lot of people are very happy with this figure and have been looking forward to it for a very long time. I too have been looking forward to it, but the execution of the wings just is really, really bad in my opinion, and all these are separate kind of pieces, which again kind of destroys the illusion. I don't know. I'm just really kind of disappointed with her because of this, and that's really unfortunate because in general I think that this is a terrific looking figure. It absolutely is a gorgeous looking representation of the Sorceress that we know and love, and you know, I mean, I can't even have her hold up her thing because her wings come flopping up. So the only way to display her is by bending it at the elbow here and doing it like this. And God, that really disappoints me. It really kind of does. And it's a gorgeous looking figure, just very poorly executed. Because it's Matty Collector, obviously the unfortunate nature of things is this figure sold out the very first day. So if you are interested in picking her up, you're going to have to do it through third-party methods, such as Big Bad Toy Store or something like that, or eBay. Big Bad Toy Store is probably your best bet simply because they're probably not that ridiculously high. Now, in terms of her recommendation, I'm kind of mixed about it. I recommend her because it's the Sorceress, and it's a quintessential and essential character in a Masters of the Universe display. But it's hard for me to recommend her because I think the execution is just so poor on this. I think they could have did so much better with it. And if it wasn't actually the Sorceress we're talking about, I would probably not recommend this figure. So hopefully I was able to kind of give you a good look at this, and at least, you know, create some kind of a discussion about this and what you guys think you would actually prefer. But in general, I hope you guys enjoyed the review. But please leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Tell me what you think would have been a better way to implement these wings. Do you think the Silverhawk idea would have been good? Or do you think something else would have been neat? Let me know in the comments down below. And then until next time, this has been Optibotimus. I want to thank you for tuning in. I'll talk to you later.